Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have reached a divorce settlement 8 years after they separated.
8-year legal battle. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have reached a divorce settlement.
Brangelina, a name that became synonymous with Hollywood royalty. It was a love story that captivated the world. Two of Hollywood's biggest stars, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, wrote a love story that had it all. Undeniable chemistry, a family that spanned continents, and a fairy tale-like journey that captured hearts worldwide. But then came the unexpected turn, an abrupt split that left everyone questioning what really went wrong. After years of intense legal battles and public accusations, their divorce is finally settled. But the real question is, what did it cost them? The final chapter of Brangelina's story. After what feels like forever, 8 years of legal wrangling, personal accusations, and constant media attention, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's divorce saga is finally over. It all started back in September of 2016 when Angelina filed for divorce. At that point, they were already a decade into their high-profile relationship, the couple the media couldn't stop calling Brangelina. Despite 2 years of marriage, their story had been one of ups and downs for years, and now it's official. The divorce is done, and while there's no big fanfare or headline-grabbing showdown, it's clear this moment brings some kind of relief. It's almost like the final chapter of a long and complicated story has just been written. Angelina's attorney shared with Entertainment Tonight that Angelina is exhausted but relieved, marking the end of this painful and drawn-out chapter of her life. No one could blame her for feeling that way. From allegations of abuse to questions about their 6 children, the years since the split have been filled with drama, especially after the public became privy to a disturbing mid-flight incident in which Brad was accused of mistreating one of their children. But through it all, Angelina kept quiet. She didn't bash Brad publicly or privately. Instead, she focused on healing, doing what she could to be the light after the dark. And now, finally, the endless court battles and speculations are behind her. The settlement itself seems to be a quiet one. Both Brad and Angelina have agreed to give up any future claims to spousal support, which marks an interesting turn considering how bitter their divorce has been. That means no more financial support for either of them, and the only thing left is for a judge to approve the terms and make it official. It might sound simple, but after all the back and forth, it's a massive step forward. Brad's team has been reached for comment, but no new statements have been made yet. Could it be that both stars are finally ready to move on? The initial filing back in 2016 came with allegations that would make anyone take a second glance. The flight incident was just the beginning. Public accusations of abuse, ones Brad has continually denied, surfaced in 2022. But no charges were filed, and the question of what really happened that day remains clouded. Angelina's filing didn't just focus on that one incident. She also cited irreconcilable differences, a term that's almost become a legal cliché in high-profile divorces, but for her it carried the weight of years of tension. This is where the story gets even more complex. As for their 6 children, the situation is far from simple. The status of Brad's relationship with them has been a constant topic of media discussion. Reports about how the kids feel about the whole mess are varied, but a source close to the family revealed something telling. The children who have grown up in the spotlight have seen the kind of power and privilege that can often drown out voices like theirs. They've seen firsthand how difficult it is to have their stories told, especially when they involve figures as powerful as their parents. So while they've wanted their mother to defend herself, Angelina has been clear with them. She believes that focusing on changing the laws, not just telling her side of the story, is the way forward. It's a perspective that shows how deeply she values teaching them lessons beyond the headlines. In the meantime, the divorce terms, which also include a resolution about their French estate and winery, Chateau Miraval, have brought a sense of closure. But there are still unresolved matters. Both Brad and Angelina are still locked in lawsuits over the estate. The fight for control over the property isn't over, which means that while the divorce itself may be settled, there are still legal battles left to fight. So don't expect the saga to be over just yet. In the midst of all this, Angelina has continued to carry on with her career. She was recently seen at the Palm Springs International Film Awards, where she made her first red carpet appearance since the divorce was finalized. And there, in a rare moment of calm amidst the storm, she beamed in an all-white ensemble, accompanied by her daughter, Zahara. As if the past few years hadn't happened at all, Jolie was there to accept the Desert Palm Achievement Award for her role as Maria Callas in the Netflix biopic Maria. This moment of grace and beauty showed a side of her that the public hasn't seen much in recent years, the one where she's focused on her craft and her kids, away from the noise. What really stands out, though, is how much their children have been affected by the whole divorce. A source revealed that some of them have legally changed their last names to remove Pitt, a bold move that shows their allegiance to their mother. It's a quiet but powerful statement. It's clear they've been deeply impacted by the split, and how they view the entire situation reflects the complexity of their lives growing up in a high-profile family. And so after 8 long years, what's next? Both Brad and Angelina are moving on, but the remnants of their past are still there, lingering in the form of legal disputes and ongoing challenges. For Angelina, it seems the focus now is on her children and her work, while Brad remains involved in various projects of his own. But as the media attention dies down, both of them will likely continue to carry the weight of their shared history. Their lives, no matter how private they try to keep them, will always be intertwined by the legacy of their time together and the aftermath of their very public split. It's a reminder that sometimes the end of one chapter is just the beginning of another. But before all the drama, the headlines, and the bitter divorce, there was a time when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were simply 2 rising stars in Hollywood. So who were they before they became the power couple everyone couldn't stop talking about? How did they go from co-stars to one of the most talked about couples in history? Let's take a step back and look at their journey to the top. 2 stars, 1 orbit. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's rise to fame is a fascinating tale of 2 distinct journeys that ultimately merged to create one of Hollywood's most powerful duos. Both of them have their unique beginnings and paths, creating a story that continues to captivate the world to this day. But how did they get there? What shaped Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt into the global icons they are today? Angelina Jolie was born on June 4, 1975 in Los Angeles, California, in a house that was always surrounded by fame. Her father, John Voight, was an established actor, and her mother, Marceline Bertrand, worked as an actress and producer. But despite this Hollywood pedigree, Angelina's early life wasn't all glitz and glamour. Her parents' divorce when she was young deeply affected her, and she spent much of her childhood feeling like an outsider. Raised primarily by her mother, she moved frequently, bouncing from one city to another, which only fueled her sense of isolation. Angelina's early years weren't without struggles. In fact, her teenage years were marked by personal battles. She dealt with issues like self-harm and eating disorders, and it wasn't until she found acting that she began to channel her emotions into something creative. It wasn't a smooth road to stardom, though. After studying at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in New York, she set out to make a name for herself, landing smaller roles in films like Hackers in 1995. While Hackers wasn't a massive hit, it helped set her on the path toward bigger things. Her breakout role came in 1998 when she portrayed the troubled model Gia Karangi in the HBO biopic Gia. Her portrayal was raw and haunting, earning her both a Golden Globe and an Emmy nomination. This performance showed Hollywood she was more than just another pretty face. She had the depth to take on complex, challenging roles. But it was Girl Interrupted, which came out in 1999, that truly launched her into the stratosphere. As Lisa Rowe, a mentally unstable patient in a psychiatric ward, Angelina won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, a career-defining achievement that only further cemented her place as a force to be reckoned with in Hollywood. But Angelina's career wasn't just about drama. She proved her range with action films like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, released in 2005, where she starred alongside Brad Pitt. But what many people don't realize is that Angelina also became one of the most iconic villains in cinematic history when she took on the role of Maleficent in Maleficent in 2014. Her portrayal of the misunderstood fairy was a perfect mix of elegance and menace, and it redefined the character for a new generation. The film was a huge success, grossing over $700 million worldwide and solidifying Angelina as one of Hollywood's top stars. She was also part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, joining the ranks of legendary superheroes called Eternals, which came out in 2021. In this film, Angelina Jolie portrayed Thena, a powerful and emotional Eternal. The role showcased her ability to blend intense action with a deep inner conflict, as Thena struggled with identity and memory. While the film received mixed reviews, Jolie's performance stood out, proving that she could handle any type of role, whether it be as a villain or a superhero. The complexity of Thena added layers to the film, demonstrating Angelina's remarkable ability to bring humanity to even the most otherworldly characters. Her shift into the superhero genre was a natural next step in her evolving career. Following her iconic portrayal of Maleficent, playing Thena allowed Jolie to further showcase her versatility, effortlessly navigating between high-energy action and emotional depth. Eternals added another dimension to her impressive resume, proving that her range as an actress continues to expand. With each new role, Jolie reinforces her status as one of Hollywood's most talented and adaptable stars, capable of taking on a wide variety of characters and leaving a lasting impact. But her impact surpasses the movie theaters and television screens. Angelina's humanitarian efforts have been equally, if not more significant than her acting career. She became a Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees in 2001, using her fame to highlight global issues. She has traveled to war zones, met with refugees, and even pushed for policy changes regarding displaced persons. In 2012, she was appointed Special Envoy to the UNHCR, which only deepened her commitment to helping those in need. Now, let's shift focus to Brad Pitt. Born on December 18, 1963, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, Brad Pitt's early life couldn't have been more different from Angelina's. Raised in Springfield, Missouri, in a small, hardworking family, Brad was no stranger to the value of perseverance. He excelled in school, participated in sports, and even dabbled in drama, though acting wasn't initially on his radar. After graduating from the University of Missouri with a degree in advertising, Brad moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in acting. Like many aspiring actors, his early years in Hollywood were filled with rejection and small, uncredited roles. It wasn't until 1991, when Brad landed a supporting role in Thelma and Louise, that he became a household name. His role as JD, a charming drifter, made him an instant heartthrob and launched him into the public's eye. From there, Brad's career took off. He starred in films like A River Runs Through It, Legends of the Fall, and C7N, each role building his reputation as a serious actor. But it was Fight Club that truly solidified his status as an icon, which came out in 1999. Playing the charismatic yet dangerous Tyler Durden, Brad became the face of one of the most cult-followed films of all time. His performance was electrifying, showcasing a raw intensity that set him apart from his peers. Brad wasn't satisfied with just being a heartthrob. In 2001, he co-founded Plan B Entertainment, a production company that would go on to create films like 12 Years a Slave, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture. As a producer, Brad sought to challenge the norms of Hollywood, investing in projects that told important, often difficult stories. His success behind the scenes only added to his credibility as an artist, proving that he wasn't just in it for the fame, he was there to make a real impact. Brad's acting career continued to soar, with standout roles in films like Inglourious Basterds in 2009 and Moneyball in 2011, the latter of which earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. But perhaps what truly set Brad apart was his willingness to evolve. He wasn't just playing the charming heartthrob anymore, he was tackling roles that required real depth and vulnerability. By the time Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came around, Brad had become a bona fide Hollywood legend. His portrayal of the laid-back stuntman Cliff Booth earned him a Best Supporting Actor Oscar, proving that his career had only gotten better with age. Brad's life off-screen was equally fascinating. He became a father to 6 children, some of whom were adopted from various countries around the world. This experience in many ways shaped him as much as his film roles did. His personal life, particularly his relationships, has often been in the spotlight, but he's managed to maintain a relatively private life in spite of it all. Both Angelina and Brad have seen their fair share of ups and downs in their careers as well as personal lives, but despite all the twists and turns, their legacies as two of Hollywood's most influential stars are undeniable. From action-packed roles to unforgettable performances in dramatic films, and from philanthropic efforts to becoming parents to a beautiful blended family, they've truly left their mark on the world. As their careers continue to evolve, one thing is clear. These two will always be remembered as two of Hollywood's biggest icons, whose influence extends far beyond the silver screen. And while their careers are remarkable, their personal lives have been the subject of endless fascination in Hollywood. What happens when two stars, each shining in their own universe, collide? How did Angelina and Brad's worlds merge to form one of Hollywood's most captivating love stories? What sparked the chemistry that would capture the world's attention for years to come? Was it fate, or was it something more? The genesis of Brangelina. When Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie first met in the 2000s, no one could have predicted the explosive love story that would follow. Their meeting on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith in 2004 was the beginning of a saga that would captivate the world. Brad was still married to Jennifer Aniston at that time, and Angelina was known for her bold, sometimes controversial personality. Their chemistry on screen was undeniable, but no one could have guessed just how much their connection would change their lives and soon ignite a fire that would set Hollywood ablaze. In the beginning, they were just co-stars, working together on a film about a married couple who secretly worked as spies. But as their characters began to fall in love on screen, something real started to bloom between them off-screen. Although they maintained that they were just friends, the rumors began almost immediately. When Brad and Jennifer's marriage ended in early 2005, the tabloids went wild, suggesting that Brad and Angelina's relationship was the cause of the split. The two were spotted together in public, and the whispers about their romance grew louder. But while the media buzzed, Brad and Angelina were careful to keep things private. By the time 2006 rolled around, Brad and Angelina were inseparable. They were constantly seen together, whether it was in the middle of a humanitarian mission or out on the town with their growing family. Their love story wasn't just about romance, it was about a deep connection over shared values. They were both passionate about global issues and wanted to use their fame to do good in the world. They traveled the globe, adopted children from different countries, and quickly became known not just as a couple, but as one of Hollywood's most philanthropic powerhouses. Then, in May of 2006, the couple made a public declaration of their love. They were expecting their first child together. Shiloh Nouvelle Jolie Pitt was born in Namibia on May 27, 2006, and the media went into a frenzy. The secrecy surrounding Shiloh's birth only fueled the public's fascination with the couple. They were no longer just celebrities, they had become symbols of a new kind of family. With Brad and Angelina, it wasn't just about glitz and glamour, it was about building something bigger than themselves. And so the question became, what could possibly come next for the couple who already had it all? Brad and Angelina continued to grow their family in the years that followed. They adopted more children from around the world, including Zahara Marley from Ethiopia, Pax Thien from Vietnam, and Maddox Chivan from Cambodia. The couple was dedicated to their humanitarian causes, and their family expanded as a reflection of their values. They aimed to be more than just Hollywood's golden couple. They wanted their legacy to reflect genuine impact and meaningful change. The tabloids couldn't get enough of them, but the couple's commitment to their family was clear, and the public adored them for it. Despite the constant media attention, Brad and Angelina managed to maintain a sense of privacy. Their relationship seemed unbreakable, and it wasn't just the love between them that kept them strong, it was the bond they shared as parents. They showed the world that love could be both glamorous and grounded, and their devotion to their children was evident in everything they did. But even the strongest relationships faced challenges, and their seemingly perfect life was beginning to reveal hidden cracks and subtle signs of tension beneath the surface. After 7 years together, Brad and Angelina finally announced their engagement in 2012. The world had been waiting for this moment, and the couple's fans were thrilled. But despite their fame, they kept their engagement private. It wasn't until 2 years later, in August of 2014, that they were finally married. The ceremony was small and intimate, held at their estate in France, Chateau Miraval. It was clear that Brad and Angelina had waited for the right moment to make this step, and when they did, it was on their own terms. The wedding was a beautiful private affair, and their 6 children played an integral role in the ceremony. But as with all things in Hollywood, their fairy tale didn't last forever. In September of 2016, just 2 years after they tied the knot, Angelina filed for divorce. The news shocked fans around the world. What had happened to the couple who seemed so perfect? While the exact reasons for their split remained private, the media exploded with speculation. Was it their demanding careers, the pressures of raising a large family, or something else entirely? The public was left wondering, how did this once-in-a-lifetime love story unravel so quickly? The end of a fairy tale. In September 2016, Angelina Jolie stunned the world when she filed for divorce from Brad Pitt. For a couple who seemed to have it all, this move came as both a shock and a turning point. Jolie cited irreconcilable differences, but the deeper story revealed a web of complexities. The filing marked the beginning of a legal and emotional battle that would unfold in front of millions, with every detail scrutinized by the media. But what could have driven them to such a breaking point? Reports pointed to an incident on a private plane involving Pitt and their eldest son, Maddox. Witnesses claimed the argument escalated significantly, leading Jolie to take swift action to protect her children. The FBI and Child Protective Services launched investigations into Pitt's behavior. Though he was ultimately cleared of any wrongdoing, the ordeal left a lasting impact on his reputation and the family's fragile dynamics. Jolie's decision to seek sole physical custody of their 6 children set the tone for a tense and highly public custody dispute. As the legal proceedings continued, the carefully curated image of their family life began to unravel. Jolie alleged that Pitt had struggles with alcohol, while Pitt countered with assurances of his efforts to better himself as a father. The custody battle reflected 2 contrasting parenting styles: Jolie's emphasis on stability and protection versus Pitt's push for shared custody to maintain his relationship with the kids. And with every new court filing, the world was left questioning, was this about the children or something far more personal? Financial disputes added yet another layer of complexity. Their shared ownership of Chateau Miraval, the picturesque French estate and vineyard, became a flashpoint. Jolie sold her share of the property, a decision Pitt claimed violated their agreement. The disagreement led to yet another lawsuit, turning a once-beloved symbol of their union into a bitter point of contention. As the battle over assets and finances played out, it became increasingly clear how intertwined their lives had been and how difficult it was to untangle them. By 2019, the couple was legally declared single, but their legal wrangling was far from over. Custody arrangements remained unresolved, with their children even being drawn into court hearings. This involvement raised serious concerns about their privacy and the emotional toll of such a high-profile conflict. The Jolie-Pitt divorce transcended the realm of celebrity gossip, shedding light on broader issues like co-parenting, addiction, and the strain of living under constant public scrutiny. Though much of their legal battles have now been settled, the aftermath lingers as a powerful reminder that even the most admired couples face deeply personal challenges. And as they move forward separately, one thing remains evident. What happens behind closed doors often has far-reaching consequences. In the years that followed, both Brad and Angelina focused on their personal lives and careers, continuing their work in film and humanitarian efforts. They kept things private, but the tension of their divorce and the media frenzy that followed couldn't be ignored. Despite everything, their love story remains one of the most talked about in Hollywood history. Brad and Angelina may have gone their separate ways, but their relationship left a lasting impact on the public. Their journey together, full of love, drama, and dedication to their family, proved that even in the world of fame, relationships are complex and unpredictable. Brad and Angelina's journey, from their whirlwind romance to their challenging divorce, has been a roller coaster. Their story reminds us that even the most glamorous lives have their share of struggles. What are your thoughts on their complex relationship? How do you think their story will be remembered? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more compelling stories. Thanks for watching.